Thank you for holding this hearing. Something that I know quite a bit about from my previous life as an electrician out in the field, and it is in many ways the difference between a contractor being selected as the low bidder, the low qualified bidder, and the difference between somebody losing out. And there's time after time, particularly in the construction industry, where by deviating and going around the rules of what an independent contractor is, that gives them an unfair, illegal advantage. And this is something that is not designed, it's not helping the employee, it's shorting around the rules and creating an unfair, illegal advantage. So New Jersey, where I am from, our Commissioner of Labor, Rob Angelo, had instituted an ABC test that has worked quite well, frankly. In fact, we get virtually zero complaints from the employee, but hear much from employers who traditionally would operate within that gray zone. So I think, like any of us, doing an examination of what actually is happening, audits are generally something that everybody in Congress likes because it cuts through the BS and finds out what are the facts. And it's extraordinary to hear that audits are now the bad thing that we should be doing. I hear this day after day, we need to find out facts, and I agree with that. So in 2019, they put together this task force on employee misclassification. And remarkably, they found in New Jersey that over 12,000 were misclassified with the equivalent of over $462 million of wages underreported. Now, I don't suggest anybody who's an independent contractor is not following the rules. In fact, I would guess that most of them. Remarkably, during the pandemic, independent contractors were able to get unemployment. That doesn't happen normally. They were self-reporting and they got unemployment because they needed it. We all understand that. But there's a difference between playing by the rules and taking unfair advantage to illegally lower the wages. So, Mr. Long, coming from the construction industry, you see time after time low bid going in if it's not a negotiated job. And you see what can and can't be done, what your contractors do versus others. Can you kind of walk us through how misclassification would give a contractor an unfair advantage?
Well, in our industry, and especially in this market, 50% of our cost is labor. So if you have a firm that can take advantage of the independent contracting and reduce their burden of cost on those workers anywhere from 20 to 40%, you can see the magnitude on the balance sheet. That's one. Number two, we as contractors are trying to develop training programs and advancement placement for our workers. And on top of that, we have to ensure a safe worker at OSHA. We have to live by the city regs. Every one of our contractors are masters of their trade. They've took license certification examination. They have to pay the cost for liability and operating insurance. 99% of them have a place of address. They're paying local taxes. They're developing the community. In the process, they're raising the worker as they go. Our organization spends hundreds of millions of dollars on technical training. And your colleague was just talking about broadband. We're ramping up all the training with broadband because we know that that's going to be as essential as electricity and water. Those are kind of things. And when we have a situation, and it really affects Congressman Norcross, it really affects our small business owners that are getting started because they need that bid, and 20 to 40% difference puts them in business or out of business. And so they don't have an opportunity to expand and to grow and hire 4 more people and bid more work and buy more trucks, pay more taxes, and build a community from a broad base. And that's what the American dream is to own a business and move forward. We're not for people not starting businesses and being independent and do the things they want to do. We just want them to make sure that there's an even playing field for our contractors.
Thank you. And Chairman, I yield back.